to the Atlanta Startup Podcast. I am Waima DK, the Managing Director of Startup Runway Foundation, which is the leading platform linking underrepresented founders to capital and investors. So today I am really excited not meet, we've talked before, but really excited to have Jillian Anderson of HERide on our show. I'll let
Yeah.
everybody know that HERide is reimagining ride sharing with a mission to provide safer and more inclusive transportation options for women, while also creating opportunities for women drivers. So she's going to do a much better job than me to tell what more about HERide. But I did want to highlight that Jillian recently won the EmpowerHER Award, which was presented by the NCR Foundation at the 28th Startup Runway Showcase. So without further ado, Jillian, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be a recipient of the Empower Her Award. And this is just a blessing to run her ride. So, just happy to have this conversation. So, what do you want me to start? You want me to just hop right in it and let everybody know
Yeah,
who I
that's
am and what I
always
do?
onto it. Yes, please tell us more
All
about
right.
HERide and the problem you're solving with this space.
Cool. So HERide is a female-friendly rideshare app. We are based out of Atlanta. We are a rideshare made for women by women. And our motto is simple. We want to help women choose to be unbothered. And so we want to help women get from point A to point B without having to worry about if somebody's going to disrupt them on that journey. And so that's our goal. Ride sharing remains simple. And we have been doing pretty well here in Atlanta. My goal right now in Atlanta is to get us to 1,000 drivers doing 10 rides a week. And so that's my goal. That's my mission. And I love what I do. And what made me get into rideshare and even this rideshare
Mhm,
industry is that I started driving rideshare when I first moved to Atlanta. I was actually trying to go pro for basketball. I'm a student athlete by trade.
mhm,
And so I was actually trying to go pro for basketball, and doing gig work actually worked out best with my workout schedule. And so that's when I
mhm,
started driving rideshare heavy and started realizing mainly at night, mostly women were telling me that were they were canceling rides until they got a woman, or they were, uh, trying to pay me using cash, all different type of things. And so I noticed that
mhm.
this was a problem that women had, that kept facing. And so I just decided to be a solution to the problem. And so, 5 years later, here we are.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that you highlight a couple of things that the problem became super apparent to you while you were pursuing other things or other passions, and it kind of just like nudged you. And so with what you've built with HERide, how are you guys able to ensure safety for both the passengers and the drivers? And ultimately, what makes HERide different from what's traditionally out there?
Yeah, so what makes us different is our features. So we were the first rideshare company to introduce rider verification, identity verification when it comes to passengers and or drivers. And so we
Mhm,
put a feature on our platform where customers had to take a picture of themselves before they booked on our platform, a live photo that could not come from your photo library. And so we
mhm,
can't prevent crime, but what we can do is put features in place to keep people that do want to commit crime on these platforms at bay, and make them want to
mhm,
stay away. When I was in high
mhm,
school, I had friends, had a couple of friends, or we had some friends that got into shoplifting when we were in high school. And so I vividly remember them telling me that they stayed away from Target. And I was like, why Target? Why don't you guys go to Target? And they were just talking about how serious Target took, how they prosecuted shoplifters to the fullest extent of the law. And I was like, I would
mhm,
like, I want our business to be looked at like that. Like I want criminals
mhm,
to look at our business and be like, you know what? I'm gonna stay away from that one because they don't play.
mhm. I love that. I love that. So it's the safety is built in.
Yeah, safety
Um,
built in.
so can you share a bit about some of the challenges that you had in launching and continue to grow HERide and how you've overcome them?
The biggest challenge I had with launching was the timing. I decided to launch in March of 2020, which was a terrible time to launch a rideshare
Yeah,
company.
yes.
That was COVID. So for an entire year, I
Mhm,
couldn't really even give rides. Um,
mhm,
But outside of timing would probably be just access to capital, which is why I applied for the
Mhm,
Startup Runway grant. Access to capital has been our hardest thing to gain. Everybody tells
mhm,
us all the time how great our idea is, that we're, comparing us to unicorn companies and all these good things. But when it comes to actually putting something down on a term sheet or an actual investment, people aren't interested in buying into HERide. They just want to buy
mhm,
me. And so I'm not trying to be
mhm,
bought out
mm,
right now. I am trying to work my
mhm,
business. I do want to work it. I do feel like I am one of the best to lead this company. And so that I think that's
mhm,
been our biggest struggle is just trying to secure funding, which is what made me seek alternative funding through grants and pitch
mhm.
competitions.
I love that. And one thing, and I'm going slightly off script, but I've noted for your journey so far that you crush pitch competitions. Like you're like, let me at them. I'm gonna get on the stage, and they will see why they need to fund
Hmm.
me. And so I just want to give you some flowers there that you have been able to really clean up when it comes to pitch competitions. And so actually, it's a good segue to. Um, your view on how founders should be looking at pursuing other capital. How can they set themselves up to do well in a pitch environment where maybe there is some non-dilutive grant money out there that for them to win?
I like this because I've been getting this question a lot. I've been telling
Mm-hmm.
people that you have to show your personality in a pitch competition. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot be monotone. You cannot be dry. You cannot be
Mm-hmm.
boring. If you have a personality, show it. Especially at the early stage of a business, because that's what investors are investing in. They're investing in the founder, and you need to be likable. And so if you're not
Mm-hmm.
likable, if people do not like you, they're more than likely not going to believe in what you're building. And so I tell people
Mm-hmm.
always bring your personality to the pitch competition. Don't try to don't try to be super professional with it. If you have a personality, bring it out. And if that's just not you, then you need to find somebody that can do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. And you're definitely don't have any issue showing your personality.
Not at
So
all.
that's really good. Can you tell a bit about some of the success stories you've had and milestones you've had so far with HERide?
Yeah. Okay, so I think one of my biggest milestones, my greatest success story will be us being approved at Atlanta's airport. That was a year-long
Mm-hmm.
process. We're the third rideshare company to do it, and the only other two outside of us before us was Uber and Lyft. And so a lot of people have been they've been scratching their heads, everybody's been scratching their heads trying to figure out how did this girl from Georgia get in the busiest airport in the world? And it's quite
Mm-hmm.
simple. I followed the directions. I followed the
Mm-hmm.
application and I followed the directions and I did what they asked. But no, that is probably one of my greatest milestones. I think another great milestone that I would like to harp on is that we have over 50,000 downloads. We have over 26,000 people that have signed up on the customer side and made accounts, and we haven't spent any money on
Mm-hmm.
marketing. And I and I
Mm-hmm.
want to and I really want to praise my co-founder for that. My co-founder is the master of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Starks, she is incredible. She knows exactly how to get eyes on a product or get attention on us without having to spend money. And she's been able to do an incredible job of that. What my
Mm-hmm.
job has been is been trying to find money so that she can actually have a real marketing budget to work off of so that we can really start doing some real marketing campaigns. But
Mm-hmm.
those are the top two things that I like to highlight is that we've done a lot with nothing. And so all we
Mm-hmm.
need is a little fuel to the fire to really accelerate things, but we have really done a lot with nothing. And I'm really, really proud of what we've done.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And I think this is also slightly off script, but I think it'll be important for you to make this opportunity because we do have investors that listen in. There are folks who are angel investors, folks who are thinking about where smart places to place their
Mhm.
money, even though this year is a little funny in how people are deploying capital, just to be frank. But what would you want folks to hear and understand about what you're building and why you particularly are investable?
I think I want people to understand that HERide is a movement and not just a
Mm,
business. The two
mhm,
other companies, the two other big dogs already exist. People are choosing and
mhm,
wanting to choose HERide for a very specific reason. And
mhm,
the investors need to make sure that they're listening to that. We've listened to those consumers.
mhm,
We know exactly what it is that they want, and we're trying to bring them exactly what it is what they're asking for. And so when it
mhm,
comes to
mhm,
any investors that are interested in investing in HERide, her, like I said, HERide will never be a Uber because Uber already exists. HERide will never be Lyft
Mm-hmm.
because Lyft already exists. So if you are
Mm-hmm.
planning on investing in HERide, understand what type of company that you're investing in and what type of movement that this is, because this is a company
Mm-hmm.
that truly does care about the safety of women, and we don't plan on changing that, um,
Mm-hmm.
diluting that at all. Like I do not want to do any of that. I want to make sure that everything that we have set in place right now in Georgia is able to be replicated in any other state that we go to. Doesn't matter how fast we want to scale, doesn't matter, where we want to scale at, the process and the system still remains the same.
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah.
mission mindedness, that like sense of purpose, the the
Mhm.
the reason why HERide exists is very specific. And what I hear in the undertones of what you're saying is that there might be push for folks to be like, well, Uber's doing this and Lyft is doing that.
Mhm.
Why aren't you doing X, Y, and Z? And like, what I hear is that respectfully, there's a reason why we have a place in the market. And so we have to be aware of what these other folks are doing, but we can't use those necessarily as benchmarks because we are
Exactly.
creating
So, but we're in
serving a specific
transportation, and
purpose.
transportation is a profitable industry. So understand, if you invest in her
Mm-hmm.
ride, you will be investing in a profitable company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'll switch gears.
Mhm.
I would love for you to share a bit about your experience at Startup Runway. So again, congratulations. You won the Empower Her Award at the 28th showcase we did. So what was your experience like?
My experience was great. The application process was dope. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
too intense. It wasn't too long. I really enjoyed that. The pitch competitions, the companies that you guys picked were incredible. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little
Mm-hmm.
worried. I was like, I don't know if I'm a place, but the competition was really, really fierce. I was really impressed with, honestly, everybody's pitch deck. So much so to the point that I actually changed mine. I actually redid my pitch deck since I pitched, because I was like, yeah, my pitch
Nice.
deck is not good enough. Like this, we have got to step it up. But we the process, everything was streamlined. It was great communication. The even the setup was great. Like I said, the pitch competition was incredible. And I really appreciate it. And again, even the resources after, I honestly use. I'm signed up to you guys' newsletters, and I'm always checking when you guys post grants, when you guys post anything, and I'm actively applying
Mhm.
to it. So yeah, I love it.
Mhm. Awesome. I love to hear that. I love to hear that one because we want to make sure that we are doing what we think we're doing.
Yeah, you guys
At
definitely
the end
are.
of the day, we're all good. It's good to hear. And so with that, you did talk a little bit about this, but just in general, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, folks who are a few steps behind where you are, whether that be, especially particularly for women, given the work that the space you're in as a woman founder, serving women, in a two-sided market. So, I would love to hear your advice.
I would say pay attention
Mhm.
to just pay attention to the times that we're in. I believe that right
Mhm.
now we're in a very founder friendly market, in terms of like a lot
Mhm.
of people are buying in whatever corporation or whatever brand or whatever company they decide to support. It's really based off who the founder is and who that face of the company
Mhm.
is. And I think as
Mhm.
women, we need to start using that to our advantage more. I think a lot of women are more likable when it comes to personalities and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And so don't be scared to
Mhm.
be the face of your business. Don't be scared to use
Mhm.
that to your advantage, because, in all honesty, when it comes to the VC money, we're not really seeing that. So we do got to get creative
Mhm.
in the ways that we're going to raise our funding. And I've
Mhm.
actually been entertaining crowdfunding lately. I've just been
Mhm.
sorting through my different options of how I want to go about doing it. But I think that we'll have a very, very successful raise using crowdfunding. Um,
Mhm.
I was I was told by Jewel Burke. She was telling me to look into non-dilute, not non-dilutive, what is it, like debt equity financing. I'm sorry. So like
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
establishing those relationships with different banks so that you can
Mhm.
leverage your credit, leverage all your business credit in order to get proper loans, letting me know about like MOUs and LOIs that you can take those to banks to get money to for like working
Mhm.
capital or anything like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, just making
Mhm.
sure that we are always looking for other keeping your ears open and keeping your eyes open to different lanes of funding. Because if you think that you're going to start a tech company in the United States and think that it's just you're gonna get $1 billion of VC funding as a Black woman investor, I'm here to tell you, I mean, as a Black woman founder, I'm here to tell you, no, you're not. So we get less than 1% of that. So
Mhm.
keep your options open.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm big on that. I mean, we know that those numbers have to change, that the percentage of women who are funded, but um, when I'm talking to founders on a day-to-day basis, you're here right now. The
Yeah.
environment is here right now. So what are the different angles that you need to go to fund what you're building right now? And then some of us who are on the back end trying to push back and make the environment more receptive for our founders. We will be doing that work, but we got to make sure that you guys survive to the next stage and the stage after that. In the
Oh yeah,
meantime,
and
and
don't
so
quit your
you
job if you don't have to. I
tell
still
them.
work full time. Don't let the investors, don't let none of these people scare you into oh, you need to be working full time on your business. I work full time on my business. There are 24 hours in a
Mm-hmm.
day. I work full time on
Mm-hmm.
my business, but I also have bills to pay. Do not let them people scare you into
Exactly.
quitting your job.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You that how many gems did this woman just put down? She said, don't quit your job. She said, explore crowdfunding. There's debt financing out there and working capital money out there. There's non-dilutive grants like this
Yep.
competition that we do, the Startup Runway Foundation competition, but there are plenty others out there. There are grants that you can write. There are multiple different ways to get your business funded, especially if you know what you have is worth it. So if you're already putting your own blood and sweat and tears into it, that's already a lot of part of the indication that it's worth investing in. Beyond, of course, having customers that are coming and breaking down your door to get your solution. So thank you, Jillian. I think this conversation was super, super rich.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to ask you if you had any final thoughts or any messages or what you guys have coming up in the near future that you want to let the audience know of before we drop off.
So I don't have anything set in stone because we haven't finalized those
Mm-hmm.
plans yet, so I don't want to announce them yet. But I do want to
Mm-hmm.
encourage everybody, especially anybody that's listening that's thinking about starting an app. The last gem that I forgot to tell you guys is trademark your name. Trademark your name. For when it comes to apps and name, I mean the app game, the name is really the king. Most
Mm-hmm.
people know apps by their names and not what they do. So if you really believe in the
Mm-hmm.
name of your app or what it is, the app that you're trying to create, trademark that name. I actually trademarked my app name before I found a developer to develop the app.
So smart. So smart. So how can listeners stay connected with you? How can they follow up on you?
Oh
What you
yeah.
guys got going on?
So you guys can keep up with me and everything that I got going on via Twitter. So my name on Twitter is Jill B. Gates. And then
Mm-hmm.
on IG, it's the real Jill B. Gates. So
Mm-hmm.
THEREAL spelled exactly how it's supposed to be spelled, no spaces, no
Mm-hmm.
underscores. If you want to keep up with everything that HERide is doing, we are Get HERide on all platforms. So it's GETHERIDE on any platform that you
Mm-hmm.
look us up on.
I love it. I love it. Jillian, thank you so much. And best of luck. We're definitely rooting for you and HERide over here at Startup Runway.
Thank you so much. I
Um,
really appreciate it.
no, no problem. Thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of your day.